Welcome everybody to Mark It Down Live. As always, so great to have you alongside me on this Wednesday. Behind me, I've got Harbor Town on my simulator. You probably know I'm lying. My hair's moving, so that means there's wind. No, this is the real 18th hole. This is Harbor Town. I'm having a little vacation with my family, enjoying some time, some golf, some beach, some pool time, and I'm gonna be doing the radio in a couple of weeks. So I figured I might as well go check out the golf course. Well, I will say there's been no play since March, so the golf course is in phenomenal shape. It's gonna be a pleasure for the guys to play. Crazy stuff going on in our country, obviously, with COVID, and then the tragic death of George Floyd last week, and then the ensuing riots. My guest this week, Harold Varner III. I talked to him about 10 days ago before all of this happened, so it seems very fitting that I start with maybe a quote from him that he put on his Instagram and Twitter page talking about the situation. He felt like he had to say something, but he wanted to take his time. Let me say just a little excerpt from it. This is Harold Varner on Instagram and Twitter. He said, "It's not helpful to anyone when impulsive, passionate reaction takes precedence over clear-minded thought." That was Harold Varner's words as he started a post. I recommend you reading it at HV3_golf. That's both his Twitter and his Instagram handle. Check it out. Very great words. That's just the start of it. He collected his thoughts. It made me think about the difference between reacting and responding. They're both action verbs. They're both action things, but it's like when you think of reacting, it seems like you do things quicker. Responding, you think things through. That's what Harold Varner was doing, and I had a blast chatting with him. Like I said, 10 days ago, he was headed to Pinehurst #2 with a couple of buddies in the car. He was in the passenger seat, and I did a little Zoom call with him. You're gonna laugh at about 2 minutes into the interview. I kind of lost contact during one of his questions, and we had a little bit of fun with that. So there's a couple little of those things that happen, but I think we're all okay with that with these Zoom calls. We're all used to people freezing up and all that. So we kind of rolled with it, had a lot of fun talking to Harold about his relationship with MJ and so many other things. He's a pleasure to know, a pleasure to talk about. I know you're gonna enjoy the interview, and I'll talk to you about it and a whole lot more on the other side. Enjoy Harold Varner. 5-year veteran on the PGA Tour, a guy who hails from East Carolina University. He's a Pirate. Harold Varner, can I get an ARB from you?
Yeah, an ARB. Yeah. I mean, sad day for ECU losing 4 sports, but, we just got to get through this thing. And the sustainability of, sports in general is important for our school. So, I know it's tough, but I'll always be a Pirate, a little bit better than that Tar Heel thing.
It's pronounced Tar Heel.
But I know what you're saying. Didn't relate to the foot part. Sorry.
Well, let's start where everybody's really thinking right now. The PGA Tour is going to get going here real soon again. You're on the Player Advisory Council, and you've only been on the PGA Tour for 5 years, but you're already on the pack for 3. Could you explain to my viewers what the Player Advisory Council is?
Usually the pack is the first 2 years was usually like you just kind of get together. It's like a little Last Supper type thing with players about things that are happening on the tour, and you really don't have much say, but you can just speak of it if you want to, if you got a thing. But if you really had a problem, you can go talk to Jay or Andy. But it's just a great thing. You do it 4 times a year, and I've just always wanted to be a part of something that was like, official. Like not like a fraternity, but just like, I don't know. I can't explain it. I've always wanted to know like what it takes to run the tour, what decisions are coming up. So that was what I did the first time. Then the second time I did it, I was just like, man, it's kind of cool. I learned a lot.
All right. I missed almost all of that, but that's okay.
No way.
Was that just?
Are you serious?
Was that just legendary stuff from Harold Varner as you're driving from Charlotte to Pinehurst?
It was pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of times I answered just to get it done. That was a good one. And you just were looking at me. I was like,
I'll go with my next question. You may have answered my next question, but I didn't hear any of it. So how about this?
Okay.
Yeah, the back, of course, very important and integral to the PGA Tour. And I mean, we got Rory McIlroy, the #1 player in the world, is sitting on there. I'm assuming you've gotten really used to Zoom meetings, conference calls. How many hours do you think you've put into this in the last 2 months to get us ready to start again at Colonial?
So it's been a lot. I think it should be, it's a super opinion type thing. Some people think we should, some people think we shouldn't. You can see as we get closer, people are voicing their opinions, and it's just like it's a lot to it. It's way more to it than just we're just going to keep everyone that's a part of the tour together and figure it out. And it's just sad that how it's affected and turned, just overnight turned the PGA Tour over into just I'm sure it's in everyone's life, really, not just sports, but just daily lives. Just we're trying to just figure it out. I just can't believe it's Jay and Amy, man. That's one person I would not want to be in their shoes, but they do get paid the big bucks, so that is their job. So it's just it's very intriguing just to see how some people are so about it, some people aren't about it, but it's just man, it's cool. I would say if you're on the board, so that'd be like Wags, Charlie. I'm missing someone on the board where you have to be on every call. I bet you they've spent 20 hours, if not more. I mean, I've been on the phone probably 10 hours. Some of it's like blase, and some of it I want to know. But what's interesting is the last one, the most important one. I was in the U-Haul and my phone died, so I didn't get to hear all of it. But it's just I'm excited to be playing, but man, some of the decisions just there's a lot of restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
Just my opinion, and the restrictions are good. They're they want to keep us healthy, but if you need that many restrictions, should we be playing? So there's real live things that are.
One of the restrictions is no fans. I was thinking, how weird is that going to be? What a neat opportunity for you, though, to come back. This is an unprecedented situation. You get an opportunity to play at Colonial, but with no fans. I mean, Harold Varner loves smiling to the gallery and interacting. How's that going to feel?
It's going to suck, but it's the right thing to do. It's pretty simple. Yes, does Harold want fans there? Yeah, I'm sure everyone does. But you tell me how. Tell me, did you play Congressional the year that the Lightning came?
I did not.
Gosh, I wanted to know how it was. That's what I've been. That's the only tournament that I've heard that people are well, I played this X many holes with no fans, but it's just it is what it is. We got to deal with it. I think things are going to get better. I'll be surprised. I want to see what this COVID thing's like after this election. How about that?
I hear you.
Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, does it disappear? We will see. But yeah, the PGA Tour I think is going to give a morale boost really to the world hopefully. And yeah, so there's going to be no fans on site, but there's going to be millions watching on TV. And I know you're going to give us a good show. I'm just curious, how have you been preparing? I mean, I just watched Charlie Hoffman unpack his club glove, which was sitting in there for 8 weeks after the Players' Championship. We know Dustin Johnson took 60 days off. How have you been doing, Harold?
Well, those two people are rich. Those people are really rich. So they got the luxury to do that. No, I've been so the golf courses have been open, so I've been playing golf. I took some time off, but it was to do some stuff I've never. I'm a turkey hunting. I installed a septic tank.
Oh.
I mean, obviously someone helped me, so I just been working at my land. I laid some sod. I've been doing all kinds of stuff. What else did I do? I haven't traveled.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I just wake up and do whatever I want to do. It's pretty nice. This will be the first time, the last time too, this will ever happen. So I'm getting married in September, and
congratulations.
You don't mean that, Mark, but I love you. But it's just life's crazy, and I like craziness. I think that hecticness, that wild stuff, is how life should be. It should be unexpected, and I'm a terrible planner, so this has been an awesome time for me because I haven't had to plan a single thing. I mean, I learned how to do Zoom all the time.
Yeah, the Zoom calls, and
yeah,
even from Mark Wilson, he's texting you going, "Let's talk on a video call." but I appreciate the time. Let's talk a little bit about your gaming. I'm assuming you've been doing a little gaming when you're not laying sod in the backyard.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of games. I've gotten a little bit better. I don't know if the new Call of Duty is easier for people that are worse, but I've definitely had more kills than I've ever had in my life playing Call of Duty.
It's kind of like my simulator back here. You can boost this thing and make even me hit over 300 yards. So can you do that in Call of Duty?
Yeah, Mark, you got some zip. You got some zip going through that simulator. Can't nobody roll it like you though, so don't get it. Just
All right.
nobody roll it.
All right, we got to talk about MJ a little bit. I mean, you're head to toe in the MJ brand when you're on the PGA Tour, and I'm sure when you're laying sod in your backyard too. I mean, what an incredible relationship. And I don't know if you know, his house is still up for sale here in Chicago. So if you want to move back to the Midwest, I think it's going for a pretty good deal. It's about half off right now.
Half off of 50 mil. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's been a cool experience. It's been super awesome to be in the brand. A lot of clothes. But the coolest thing for me is just being able to build a relationship with MJ to where it's not about golf. It's about life and how things he's done in his life and like how he processes things. And those are priceless things that I've been fortunate enough to be able to ask. And, I've had fun with it too. I've been able to do a little bit of everything, so I'm super grateful for that. I've actually I've spoke to him a few times since the quarantine, so it's just man, I don't really know how to explain it. Although it didn't come out of nowhere, it's pretty cool once you get in there and you're just like, I wish you could see my room.
It's decked out with the Jordan brand. I understand. How about, did you enjoy watching The Last Dance?
I did. It's been really cool. But the part that bothers me is everyone coming out at the end. Have you seen the things the last few days? But like, they're the same people that in the show that were, well, I wish you would have just handled it like a man. Hey man, you had all the right in the world to handle it like a man. You could call MJ. I'm sure he'll pick up your phone. It's not like he didn't know you. So it's I think it's a great publicity stunt. Like, I didn't even know who Horace Grant was, to be honest with you. To Last Dance. Everyone knew who Scotty was, but I didn't know. Scotty's just a country kid, where like, I'm sure being in the limelight's, not as awesome. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm sure since his career's ended, he wants to just be on the back burner, but he isn't this last 6 weeks.
Have you played some golf with MJ?
Yeah, I've played him twice. I was supposed to play with him last week, but the weather didn't cooperate too well. So, yeah, I played with him. He was on my team, so we didn't, he had his little side action, and we just, he likes to gamble. Yeah, he's competitive. That's what I learned in the last team.
Oh, right, yeah, he's competitive. Yeah, I love that.
That's the one I'm going to use from now on. Yeah, he's got a motor of he doesn't stop. The coolest thing for me is, I'm gonna just be honest with you about the whole thing. It's the way he talks to his teammates. People that don't play sports have no clue. Like, everyone's like, man, he shouldn't be using that language, or he shouldn't talk to him or her like that. But like, it's just how he expresses love. Yes, it doesn't come out like super babyish, but like, just it goes to show how sensitive the world is in 2020. You and I have talked about this, and I'd rather just you and I talk about this. But like, at some point, someone's got to stand up and be like, "You're just being a baby. You're being a baby. Get it together. Let's go compete." But you can't say that too aggressively, because you'll be what do they call it? What do they call when you like verbal abuse? Like the poker guy I saw the other day. Like, man, he's having fun. He's playing for $1 million. Relax.
Verbal abuse, yeah. No, it's how we show love. Like you said, I had Eric Hillcoff on the other day, and he was talking about if people are pranking you, giving you a hard time, you know that they love you. It's one of those things. Like, but if they're ignoring you completely, well, then maybe you're on the wrong side of the mountain. So just like you said, if someone's got enough courage to come up to you and say, "Hey, pal, you're being a little bit of a baby here," respect it, take in that criticism, and go with it.
That's what I loved about the whole show. He treated everyone the same.
Talk about your golf real quick. Fifth year on tour. You've been in the playoffs every year, which is awesome. You won the Australian PGA, which helped you. The year before you won the Aussie PGA, you got connected with Ray Farnell. Your caddy now, an Aussie himself. I got to throw something out there because I played the Australian tour for a few years. Do you know what a Tim Tam is?
I do not know what a Tim Tam is.
Oh, man, it's a chocolate cookie. You got to ask Ray about it. It's unbelievable.
I don't eat chocolate, though.
Oh!
Yeah, that ain't my
well,
favorite.
they'll change your life. You'll probably start eating chocolate if you get a Tim Tam.
Have you had Vegemite?
No, I just heard it in the Down Under.
Gosh, a little bit of butter, a little bit of Vegemite. Holy.
All right. Well, next time we go there together, I'll give you a Tim Tam and I'll have some Vegemite.
So good. All right.
All right. We got to wrap this up. I know you're getting ready to play Pinehurst #2, which is cool, but I got to talk about the HV3 Foundation. Tremendous what you're doing with the HV3 Foundation, really trying to garner opportunities for kids to play sports. I know you started out playing at Gastonia Municipal when you were a kid. Is that kind of the catalyst that got you going and want to do your own foundation?
Yeah, without a doubt, is access to golf. For people who don't really have it. That's honestly how I started playing golf. This is $100 between June 1st and September 1st. You can play Monday through Friday, and then I just fell in love with it. So that's how it started. And Ray, about 6 months in from when he was caddying for me, he asked me. He said, "Do you think the best player in the world play golf?" I was like, probably not. Probably not. There's probably some kid. There's way more that has to happen to be really good at golf than it is basketball. I want people to have the same option. I want to go to the golf course today as I did. I want to go shoot basketball today. Yeah, will I ever be on the same level? No, but that's my job is to get, try to be vocal about having that opportunity.
That's fantastic. And I know you're a bit of a softie, Harold. I know you're a tough, strong guy, but, things get tug at your heart, man. And it was touching to hear about the story of a friend of yours, Daniel Meggs, who passed away in February from cancer. But you're partnering with the Carolinas Golf Association to do something real cool. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Daniel, obviously we grew up playing together. We were pretty close, not real close. He was so good at golf, as a kid. He was in my class, he was either him or Jack Dills, who you would know, are probably the best players in North Carolina. So I'm sitting at Selwyn Pub, who I'm probably sure every golfer at the Wells Fargo knows about. I'm sitting there on Sunday, and Daniel walks in, and I'd heard about it. And I heard Daniel was giving lessons to juniors, and we just sat there and we talked, and he's like, "Dude, I'm going to be fine." So then we just started talking for 3 years. He'd shoot me a text, I was getting lessons, and I just never knew he was so into teaching. And then obviously he had his experience at Wake Forest, and, it didn't go as well. But just made the most of where he was in his life. And at the end, when it just started getting bad, man, I just felt, I felt so bad for when people have such, if you met him, you definitely got to know who he was real quick. Didn't take long. He's very outgoing. But it was something that I felt was the right thing to do, honor him in some way, some form, some fashion. But the way that he talked about living when he knew he was dying is something that people need to live that way, even though they know they're not dying right now. They should do that. I still have some text messages that were just so spot on, just to just keep it in perspective of just what's really important.
Yeah, I wrote one down. I wanted to read it to you. This is one that I found that he texted to his father soon after being diagnosed with cancer. He said, this is Daniel Meggs texting his dad saying, "I'm not worried about my hair. I'm not worried about feeling bad. I'm not even worried about dying. I just pray that if I'm able to live, I will be able to have as much of an effect on people as if I died." Incredible.
Yeah, gosh, it gets me goosebumps thinking about it. man, that's what he cares about. And I mean, think about it. He wouldn't even have known he had cancer. I mean, I'm not sure, but if he wouldn't have been given lessons, I mean, he literally was given a lesson, and this guy was like, "Man, I got this lump in my chest," and they sent him to he went and got scanned. So it's man, we're gonna do whatever we can to honor him the right way. And, you know how it is. Everything on this earth is going to be dust one day. So it's just like, do what you can do while you're here.
That will return to dust. So you're doing the junior like memorial tournament in July. Is everything system go with everything that's going on with COVID?
Right now, it's a go. People are super excited about it. The cool thing for me is a lot of kids that I grew up playing with are going to volunteer. I'm going to volunteer for the tournament that we're like close to. You know, like we've ran other tournaments where like kind of anyone volunteers, but this one's very, I guess, selective of who is doing what.
It's fantastic what you're doing. Your attitude's always been one at the top of a category that we don't have on the PGA Tour, but we should, strokes gained attitude. You talk a little bit about the importance of that. You go out, you're smiling, your humility shows out when you're willing to take advice from other people. How valuable is that to both your contentment level in life and just your success on the golf course?
Yeah, two things happened. In college, we had to read an article about, it's called Positive Resilient Mindset. I still haven't found it, but it just always hit home. Is that like, being positive isn't barely being always happy and happy-go-lucky. Like resilience being like pissed off that things aren't going your way and that you have control over having the right attitude to make those things start going in the right direction. So, like, yeah, like, why should I be mad if I know that I have the mindset to change things around just based off of how I talk to myself and, like, what I want to do? You kind of speak it into existence. If you're thinking about it, it's probably going to happen. So if you're worrying all the time, bad things are probably going to happen. You know, like, you might get away once or twice, but, like, it's going to be hit or miss. And that's just, like, those are the people that are on tour for 2 years, off the tour 1 year, on the tour, and that ain't who I am. And it's the only thing you can control. So that was the number one thing. And then at the end of the day, like, there's things like Daniel where you sit there and you're like, that was another part about the last dance. Gus got cancer. How it like made MJ so much more appreciative.
Yeah, life is really about what how you respond to what happens to you, not what just happens to you. And on Mark It Down Live, I always like to get a swing thought as we finish up here. Is there a swing thought that's worked for Harold Varner more often than some others? Is there a cue that you go back to often?
It's putting an alignment stick down
Yeah.
before I play to try to just get in a good setup. Because as a kid, my first instructor used to always say, he's like, don't miss it before you swing it.
Okay.
And it's like, that's the, like obviously it's not a swing tip, but it's just like getting your fundamentals right. When you do have a chance to react, you're going to react in a place where you're going to hit quality shots.
You don't get out of wax. You're just saying just a simple alignment rod or another club, kind of you lay it down in between the ball and your feet just for some alignment?
Yeah, I try to get my chest pointed at the alignment stick because, my tendency is to get too far to the left. So that's my biggest thing is just try to get square to that and just hit as hard as I can.
All right. Well, Harold Varner, thank you so much for your time. I'm amazed you've never played Pinehurst number 2, so enjoy it today. And I will say one little advice for you. I know it's been a little wet there, but there's something to be said about hitting to the middle of the greens at Pinehurst number 2, a Donald Ross gem.
Well, yeah, I had the most confident conversation with one individual in this car this morning. And all he said was, you ready to get your ass kicked today? I thought that was pretty, that about set the tone for the day.
That's what you want, though. You want that competitive nature. Who do you got in the car with you?
So we got Will Long. He played at Auburn, playing the mini tours on the grind. Doesn't know how to drive, though. It's all good. And then we got Taylor Dixon. He plays on the Corn Ferry Tour. Just kids that, not kids, a grown man who grew up in Gastonia with me. And just, I'm trying to beat him every chance I get.
Well, go out there and beat them and enjoy the time. And good luck back on the PGA Tour when you start up again, Harold.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Mark.
Well, if you weren't a fan of Harold Varner before the interview, I'm sure you are now. Just a fun guy to be around. Got a great attitude, a great lease on life, always laughing, always having a great time. And boy, he can play some golf. He can move it out there. He can roll the rock. He can do all kinds of things. And about him, he's in his 20s. And here he is already giving back with the HV3 Foundation, really trying to get accessibility to everybody to play golf. Did you catch that answer? It took me a couple times to understand what he was saying when he was talking about maybe that the actual best golfer in the world isn't playing golf. And that just means that golf isn't necessarily as accessible as, say, basketball. You just got to pick up a basketball and go to the park. Golf, not necessarily. So Harold Varner taking it on himself to try to help out the next generation. And how about getting into his mind a little bit? Where did that attitude come from? I love that he learned some of it from his time at East Carolina University. It's kind of hard to believe that you can learn anything at a university like that. I mean, you got to go to North Carolina to really learn something, but he's done all right there. But I love that he was able to learn that positive, resilient mindset that he's talking about. And that's really so important. Why would we want to worry? Why would we want to be anxious and waste energy when you'd like to use all of your energy on your mindset? And that's what Harold Varner is doing. He says you basically can kind of think things into existence. And that's kind of what he goes about with that. And then also the gratefulness. He says those two things, the positive, resilient mindset and the gratefulness that he feels, it's really helped him have that attitude that he has, that he's going to learn from everything that happens to him. I had a performance coach that talked about being grateful and to come up with 3 grateful moments every day. I highly recommend it to you all. And these are like moments, like you see maybe a couple deer walking down the street, or you bump into a friend you hadn't seen in years at the airport. Those are the little things. It's easy for us to like kind of default and say, oh, I'm thankful for my family and I'm grateful for my health. Of course we are for those. It's these little tiny moments. And Harold Varner certainly has both of those things working for him to help him with his attitude. He talked about his golf there. Very simple thought with the fundamentals. His coach had said, don't miss it before you hit it. Meaning, let's get the setup right, let's get the alignment right, all that kind of stuff. And so really Harold Varner, just using an alignment stick. You can use another club if you don't have an alignment stick and put that in between your feet and your intended line, starting line. And that could certainly help you not get into a whole lot of bad habits and certainly work your way out of the right setup over time. So very simple tip from Harold Varner that he sets up his shoulders square to that. So certainly hope you enjoyed it. Hope that took your mind off some of the things that are going on in our world. I know they're still there, and we all got to do our parts to help it be a better place. But hope you enjoyed time with Harold Varner today. And I know you'll be cheering for him when we start back with the PGA Tour. So let me leave you with your mark it down. I'm going to go with that positive, resilient mindset. Mark it down. A positive, resilient mindset is going to help you big time. It's going to pay dividends for you. So let's all be intentional and start thinking those positive things that can help us in our life, in our golf, whatever it might be. As always, if you missed some of this interview, you want to catch it again, catch my other interviews, you can find me on YouTube, Mark It Down Golf. Would love to have you subscribe, and I'll send you notifications when I got another video. In the end, though, Harbor Town is looking sweet. Tour is going to be starting up in just 8 days at Colonial Country Club for the Charles Schwab Challenge, and then here at Harbor Town. So I hope you all tune in to both PGA Tour Live, PGA Tour Radio, and the Golf Channel, CBS on the weekends, and get your fill. Thanks again for watching Mark It Down Live. You all be safe, be well. Look forward to talking to you next Wednesday.